How many four-letter words can I use on that?
Trying to switch to a double. Cheddar is driving. Nothing yet. Takedown, Michael Cheddar.
Oh, Nick, I'm a top guy, so I love top wrestling.
Hale trying to stick him. He does. Maximus Hale the fall.
So I think that wrestling is the greatest sport on earth.
What's going on, everybody? It is Nick Kosko here with On3 Wrestling. Pleased to talk to you all again as we move on to the month of December. Now, I know Cliff Keen is out there this weekend. That's the big in-season tournament out in Vegas. A lot of great wrestling expected to be out there on the West Coast. Now, again, will not be out there, though, unfortunately, but I will be there for the Rutgers home opener on Friday. So that is tomorrow as we're taping this. They take on Lock Haven at Jersey Mike's Arena. So we're going to focus today's episode on Rutgers and Lock Haven because that is my broadcast responsibility for tomorrow. And, of course, Rutgers takes on rival Princeton at Jadwin Gym on the campus of the Tigers. That is Sunday afternoon. I believe it's at 1 o'clock or 12 or 1 o'clock on Sunday. But tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Big Ten Plus. Be sure to check it out there. I'll be on the call with my guy, Matt Howe, for the season opener, or excuse me, the home opener for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. So we'll dive into that because there are some intriguing matchups to digest right there as the Scarlet Knights come in ranked 17th in the country. Lock Haven, unranked by the coaches poll, but they're 1-0 in the season, and they do have a couple ranked guys in the lineup. So wanted to give more of a local flair this weekend. And of course, we'll continue to dive across the entire sport of college wrestling as we get further into December, post holidays. And of course, when all the conference duels begin starting in January. So without further ado, we will dive into Rutgers and Lock Haven right down the lineup right here. We'll start at 125 now. Rutgers has listed Dean Peterson, who's ranked in the top 20 according to Intermat, or Aiden Smith. Now, Aiden Smith, the true freshman, one of the highly touted recruits of that 2024 recruiting class. He made his debut the other week against Virginia Tech, fell in that match, a tough one, wrestling a former All-American in Eddie Ventresca. Now, Dean Peterson beat him before, so of course they wanted that matchup, but he was in concussion protocol. Now, his status for tomorrow night is still up in the air. That's why they still have him or Smith listed. If I had to guess, just a strict educated guess right here, Dean will wrestle tomorrow based on a recovery from a concussion timeline as far as that is concerned. Now, if he goes out there, of course, Rutgers will be the favorite against probably Sean Logue, who's probably going to go for Lock Haven. Lock Haven has a lot of this guy or this guy across their lineup. And again, they have a couple ranked guys, and they're still tinkering with their lineup. I'm interested to see who they actually throw out there at 125. Sean Logue, projected starter right now, at least in my mind, 7-2 on the season. Peterson will be favored there if he does wrestle. I know he's off to a slow start, only 1-2, and he got dinged up against NC State a few weeks ago when Rutgers was wrestling in Toms River. But if Aiden Smith goes out there, I'm excited to see what he can do. He's shown a couple times this year. He's only 2-2 on the year, but as a freshman, can really score a lot. Very athletic, very agile. He's very quick. His cardio is pretty much second to none. Having seen them up close in practice, I mean, this kid can just keep going and going and going. You'd love to see that, especially out of a young guy when he's adapting to the college wrestling space. So I would expect Dean Peterson. Rutgers should be favored on paper if he goes there. Kind of a toss-up bout. If it's Aiden Smith, again, we have yet to see him long-term right now. And again, if Rutgers does use Aiden Smith, I believe that's going to be his either second or third event totals. Again, he wrestled against Virginia Tech. I believe he might have used one more of his 5 events this year, so this will either be his second or third event. And again, if you're a true freshman, you can use 5 events before you decide to redshirt or burn the red shirt and use that year of eligibility. So they'll be careful with that, as I know they want him in the lineup in the future. Dean's still going to be here for a couple years. So again, they'll try to work him in, whether it's, Dean goes up or Aiden goes up or however they tinker with the lineup over the next couple of years. They maybe want to save a year of eligibility for Aiden Smith, who looks to be one of their future starters for Rutgers. They won the lightweight. So that's 125, 133, probably the match of the night, at least on paper. Dylan Shawver going for Rutgers, and of course, Anthony Noto, an All-American in his own right for Lock Haven. Now, Noto has some history with Rutgers, having beaten Peterson a couple of years ago in the blood round at 125. Noto's up at 33 this year. He's ranked 14th in the country. Shawver ranked 5th. And again, Shawver still undefeated on the year, 5-0. Noto is 8-1, off to a blazing start at 133. His new weight looking really, really good. But Shawver, I would say, is the favorite here on paper. All-American last year in 7th place at 133. He's on, at least on my short list to win the national title this year. Noto, could he do it too? Yes, he's got the talent to do it, but I would say Rutgers is going to need this match. This is maybe, I guess, leaning towards a toss-up bout in totality, but Shawver is the favorite here. Again, undefeated, ranked higher, has been scoring a lot this year, looks really good, picking up where he left off from last year, and of course, wrestling in front of the Rutgers faithful at Jersey Mike's Arena, surely going to give him a boost. So I would say Rutgers is a favorite on paper in the first two bouts. Again, 125 up in the air if Peterson or Smith goes for the Scarlet Knights, but Scarlet Knights looking good against Lock Haven going into 141. Another ranked matchup expected. Joey Oliveira going to go for the Scarlet Knights, ranked 24th at 141. Wyatt Henson ranked 23rd. So true toss-up bout right there. Now, again, Connor Heckman could go. He's only 4-7 on the year, but I would expect Henson to go. Again, he's now 7-2 on the season. Oliveira just 3-2, but he's wrestled some really close matches against some highly ranked guys that included Kyle Rini, where I was there for, and Tom's River against NC State. That match came down to the wire. Virginia Tech, it came down to the wire. I believe he wrestled McGonigal, if memory serves correctly. So Oliveira's in these matches, and he's maybe a takedown or two away from being much higher in those top 33 rankings at 141. He's really good. Looks like he's coming into his own. And again, don't let the record fool you. He's been wrestling really well. I would just like to see him get to his attacks more. And if he gets there and starts scoring a little bit more, Oliveira can be very dangerous. So true toss-up bout there right there at 141. So we'll go to 149, where, again, you might have another toss-up bout because you have Andrew Clark or Michael Chetta for the Scarlet Knights. That weight class not decided yet for Rutgers. Again, Clark is the one currently ranked. He's 31st in the country, listed at 9-2 on the year in terms of his win-loss record. Chetta's just 4-4. Both guys have had quality wins this year, have wrestled pretty well. Chetta's up against it just record-wise. But other than that, these two guys are very close to one another in terms of their skill level and who's really going to take that spot. Clark edged out Chetta in tiebreakers. If you go back to that Black Knight Invitational when they were both at the 149-pound bracket. So very tough to tell which one's going to really take hold of this starting job. If you go by the ranking and the current win-loss record, you would lean towards Andy Clark, who's back down to 149 this year. Both guys are NCAA qualifiers. So, again, Rutgers is going to be in a good spot here regardless at 149. Lucas Kapusta or Nick Stonechek will go. It's probably going to be Kapusta. I don't want to butcher his name. He's 8-3 on the season. So, again, Rutgers probably favored in this match as well. But, again, a little bit close on paper. It's not like it's going to be well into the hands of Lock Haven or well into the hands of Rutgers at 149. But, again, Rutgers looking good in the lightweights as you go through the first half of the lineup, where they're probably favored in at least three of those first four matches, if not all four, with a toss-up at 141, as I mentioned before. And then you go to 157, where this is, this is where Lock Haven is going to be favored now. So you look at Nick Stampolis, the Buffalo transfer. I've seen him wrestle before. He's on the fringe of the rankings. Now he's ranked 33rd according to Internet. I believe Flo doesn't have him ranked. Might be on just the outside looking in. He's a high-quality wrestler. And again, Connor Hare, the Herald freshman for the Scarlet Knights, just 3-2 on the season. Now, he's wrestled well. He's run into some freight trains as well. He wrestled well against Virginia Tech, against Rafael Hippolito. I believe he was only a one takedown away. Hippolito's just a very funky guy, so Hare got caught a little bit. I know the match against Derek Fields didn't go his way. I beg your pardon, Ed Scott against NC State. Hare kind of got freight train. That was like his welcome to college wrestling moment. But otherwise, Hare has shown a lot of skill so far as a true freshman for the Scarlet Knights, mostly on his top game, able to ride, throw boots in, and go for turns as well. So this is a very interesting match. This is where Lock Haven could get back into it if they can get a win right here. And ideally, maybe ideally for Lock Haven, you keep it to a 3-2 split. Maybe you pick off you get two matches in the first half of this dual meet against Rutgers. Maybe you pull off an upset here again with that Noto Shawver match. That'd be the ideal situation for Lock Haven going, especially on the road and trying to get off to a great start. But Stampolis is going to be the favorite here on paper, ever so slightly. Again, he has the ranking. He's 8-3 this year. Hare has shown some promise, but again, he's just a freshman, and you need to see more out of him than just 5 matches to see, okay, he's going to be ranked at one point, he's going to be a qualifier, All-American, so on and so forth. All right, so that's the first half. Rutgers, again, favored at least in 3 of those bouts, if not 4, so they should have the advantage going into the second half here after the intermission break. So at 165, again, another toss-up because you look at what Rutgers has right there. Anthony White ranked 31st in the country according to Intermat. Or they could throw out the true freshman Andrew Barbosa, who looked really good. Again, he looked really, really good against NC State, pulled off the upset, top 20 upset. He wrestled again, I believe, against Virginia Tech last week, fell a little bit short. So again, when you look at, actually, I think at this point, it was like about 2 weeks ago at this point. So I'm losing track of time, folks. But Andrew Barbosa looking really good as a freshman. Now, again, he came in probably going to be a 157-pounder, but he seems to be acclimated to the weight at 165. Again, very tough weight class for a true freshman, but he's looked pretty good so far this year, just 2-1. Or they're going to throw out White there, who's 5-2. He's looked better than he did last year, at least to this point of the season. So, and I'm glad he's in the rankings as well. So he's getting recognition for how well he's wrestled so far. Caden Dobbins or Nick Kunstek, they are going to be the projected guys at 165. Probably going to be Dobbins, who's 6-4 on the season for Lock Haven. But again, I would say Rutgers ever so slightly favored in that one if it's Anthony White. If Barbosa goes out there, again, he's looked really good. He's shown a lot, can really score from a lot of positions. But if it's Barbosa out there, you're probably looking at a toss-up match there to go either way for Rutgers or Lock Haven. White, just based on the experience and the rankings so far, he's probably going to be the favorite. But I would you're probably leaning towards Rutgers at this weight anyway. And now we're going to get into some more juicy stuff as we get to the upper weights. 174, Jackson Turley, just 2-2 on the year, ranked 20th in the country. Now, he's had his moments. He's had his low lights, so to speak. He had a tough match against NC State, had a tough one against Wolak of Virginia Tech. Now, again, go back to how he wrestled against NC State, just a takedown away from winning that one. Arguably could have won, should have won that match. And then against Wolak, against Virginia Tech, he was wrestling pretty well. I think he had the first takedown. Wolak eventually I think he reversed some or he got on top. And then he hit that nasty, nasty bow and arrow that, I'm sure, Rutgers fans don't want to see in a highlight reel right there. But, that's why Wolak is one of the best guys in the country, top 5 guy in the country. So Turley, not worried right now. Again, he's feeling healthy. He's only wrestled 4 matches. He's experienced, an All-American from a couple of years ago. He knows what is at stake going the rest of the way. So he'll be favored over Avery Bassett, who's off to a great start for Lock Haven. 33rd in the country, 7-1 on the season. Again, Turley the favorite, looking for some points here. If Rutgers wants to start trying to put this match out of reach, especially if they get out of the first 6 bouts, maybe let's say 4 wins, maybe even 5, they might want to try to put this one away, maybe with some bonus points with Turley. He's going to try to hit some big moves. He's going to go for turns. He's going to go for throws, look for the pin as well. So I'm interested to see how they're going to play the points game from this point forward. But I would say Turley definitely the favorite here, 174. 184, very interesting. If you see Colin Fegley for Lock Haven, he's ranked 28th in the country, so a ranked guy, 9-2, wrestling really well for the Bald Eagles. James Leto is the other guy on the lineup right now, but it's probably going to be Fegley if you're going to see the ranked matchups. And then very interesting decision right now for Rutgers, Brian Soldano or Shane Cartagena-Walsh. Soldano just 5-4 on the season. He's still ranked 22nd in the country. He's had his ups and downs so far through the first couple weeks of the season, first 4 or 5 weeks. Cartagena-Walsh looked really good so far. He upset TJ Stewart of Virginia Tech a couple weeks ago when they went down to Blacksburg, and Coach Goodell has said that weight class is up in the air right now. Soldano has yet to use a red shirt, so he's been the starter for now. This is his 3rd straight year since he was a true freshman. So could this be a time where he sits down and Cartagena-Walsh takes over? Who knows? I think this match will be a big indication of that. But again, you also have Princeton on Sunday, so this could be a situation where Rutgers uses both guys this weekend. One guy goes on Friday, the other guy goes on Sunday to kind of determine things. And of course, they are going to Midlands to try to maybe sort out 149 and 184 in this lineup. Now, they both wrestled the Black Knight Invitational. Cartagena-Walsh finished higher on the podium, but they did not wrestle each other. Both lost to the same guy from Penn State. I believe it was Zach Ryder. They're 190 or they're 184 backup. So he beat both guys. That's any indication for you. But either way, Rutgers probably the favorite right here. I know Soldano's a bit of he's a high risk, high reward here. So if he goes out there, just hold your breath, because he can either pin Fegley in about a minute, 30 seconds, or he could be down by, 10-2 at one point by going for a big move, maybe gets caught. So that's been kind of the theme we've seen from Soldano so far this year. And, again, for the bulk of his career. So I'm sure Rutgers wants to kind of rein that in and get a methodical win here. But if it's Cartagena-Walsh, he's going to push forward. He's going to attack the legs and try to score a lot. Both guys are going to score a lot. So Rutgers definitely the favorite in this weight class, but it could be a little bit more closer than we think. And then now we'll go to 197. And this is where Rutgers should really take over, if not, if they have to really clinch the duel in these next 2 weight classes. 197, of course, John Poznansky, ranked 14th in the country. He's 4-1, just lost to Andy Smith of Virginia Tech. That was his lone loss, close match. think it was 4-3. He'll take on Tucker Hogan or Cale Black. Probably going to be Hogan. He's 7-1 on the season. So again, Rutgers a big favorite right here. Maybe look for bonus points from Poznansky. And then at heavyweight, Jaroslav Slavakuski, ranked 9th in the country. I think Flo has him at 6, so he's still a top 10 guy. Looking to get back on the podium this year. Now, people were saying, mostly me, but maybe a dark horse to get to the national finals. Well, Gable Stevenson's back, so there's going to be a couple more roadblocks at the heavyweight weight class for Slavakuski, like Stevenson, and then of course Greg Kirkland, the defending champion from Penn State, and a couple other guys. But Slavakuski just 3-1 on the season. He's only wrestled 4 times. Only loss was to Isaac Trumbull of NC State. Close match. I think it was the final score of that one was 2-0. He just got ridden out in that third period. But other than that, he got a nice overtime victory over Jimmy Mullen of Virginia Tech, the ranked win for Slavakuski 2 weeks ago. Either Ethan Miller or Brandon Steeler they'll go out there for Lock Haven again. Both guys 2-5 and 1-1 respectively. So Slavakuski a big favorite here. So expect Rutgers to try to pour on some bonus points when it comes to 197 and heavyweight. So if we go back down the line real quick, 120. If Peterson goes out there, now I'm going to go under the assumption that he does wrestle tomorrow night. It could be Smith, because then you might want to see Peterson at Princeton on Sunday in the rivalry duel. But if it is Peterson, we'll go under that assumption. 125, 33. 49, so that's 3 weight classes. We'll go with 65, 74, 84, 97 in heavyweight. So my quick math, again, as a journalism major, my quick math says 8 of those 10 bouts they should be favored in, a couple toss-ups on paper. But again, 133, the match of the night, Dylan Shaver, Anthony Noto, that could go either way. So again, Rutgers is favored, but if you're going to say toss-up just based on how good both those guys are, we'll say Rutgers is, you could definitely say favored in 7 matches, 3 toss-ups, maybe give Lock Haven 1 more toss-up right there in terms of where they have a better chance to win. But Rutgers, definitely the favorite, as they should be, being a top 20 team. Lock Haven, bringing in some new guys, some young guys, and of course some guys that have come back, like an Anthony Noto, who's one of your best guys on the roster, if not your best guy on the roster, and could be eventually a national title contender by the time we go down to March. So I'll say Rutgers wins. We'll go with I'll play it safe right now. They'll win 7 bouts on Friday night, win comfortably in the end, and of course, we're looking forward to Dylan Shaver and Anthony Noto. Now for if you're looking at it from a fight card perspective, of course you want to see Shaver and Noto end the night, right? That's your main event. Shaver and Noto could be a preview of a match they have in the NCAA tournament. It could be a quarterfinal, semifinal. They're on opposite sides of the bracket. They both make runs. Maybe it's a national final. You never know. I know Noto's only 14th in the country right now, but he's really, really good. Lock Haven's got a great program. And just a quick note, head coach Scott Goodale, of course, he is a Lock Haven alum, which is inducted into their Athletics Hall of Fame back in the summer. So a great wrestling career for him. They get 99 career wins, 3-time NCAA qualifier. So Coach Goodale, well-deserved, and it'll be a nice little battle with his alma mater. It'll be a bit of a special night for him, I say. I know he's, just focusing on the match, but that'll be a nice little nugget to really see, showcase, and talk about on the broadcast. So again, Rutgers favorite in this one. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video. Subscribe to the channel. Of course, check out our content at on3.com. Leave a comment on this video if you want to give me your prediction. Where am I missing the mark? Where am I right? Tell me what you guys think about this match. And, of course, check it out on Big Ten Plus, 7 o'clock on Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, by the way. Big Ten Plus, Rutgers, Lock Haven. I'll be on the call with my guy, Matt Howe. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow night. And, of course, we'll see you on On3 Wrestling next time for another edition of On3 Wrestling to talk about all kinds of stuff. All kinds of, we'll recap this match, look at the Cliff Keen tournament, preview what's to come after the holidays. It's going to be some great stuff. Tune in to On3 Wrestling next time. We'll see you soon.